About 10 years ago, I lived in a city that got really hot in the summer. I craved a break from the heat and longed to explore the countryside. I yearned to wander through the woods and soak in the sight of lush green trees. I had a cute little red car, and I always carried a map with me. One night, feeling adventurous, I decided to drive out into the countryside. It was just me, my car, and the open road. That summer was truly unforgettable. The countryside looked so beautiful in the early morning. The sun was shining brightly, painting the sky blue. I could hear birds chirping happily in the trees. But then, unexpectedly, my car came to a halt. What's happening? I thought to myself. Oops, I've run out of fuel. Now I have to walk. I need to find a town and buy some petrol. But where am I? Glancing at the map, I tried to figure out my location. I found myself far from any town, just wandering around, completely lost in the countryside. Then, I noticed her, a girl strolling down the road, holding a bunch of flowers. She looked so serene in her long dress, with her hair flowing down her back. Her hair was long and black, glistening in the sunlight. I felt drawn to her and decided to approach her. Stepping out of the car, I greeted her. Hello. I seem to be lost. Can you tell me where I am? She seemed scared, so I spoke softly. I'm out of fuel, I explained. Do you know where I can find some petrol? Her blue eyes met mine, and she smiled. She's really pretty, I thought. I'm not sure, she replied. But come with me to the village. Maybe we can help. I happily agreed, and we walked together for a while. I checked the map, but there wasn't a village marked. Maybe it's just really tiny, I thought. But surprise! There was indeed a village, and it was charmingly old-fashioned. The houses were painted in black and white, and they were so tiny. There were heaps of animals around. Then, the girl stopped by a house and gave me a friendly smile. Come on in, please, she invited. So, I followed her inside. The house was super tidy, but also strange. There was a fire crackling, and food was cooking above it. Suddenly, my stomach grumbled. I was hungry. That's odd, I thought. They are cooking over a wood fire. Then it dawned on me, maybe they're tight on money. I met her mom and dad, and they were really nice. Even though their clothes were a bit different, they seemed friendly. Have a seat, the older man said warmly. Are you thirsty after your walk? He handed me a drink, and I politely said, thanks. But the drink was different, it was dark brown and really potent. I was a bit puzzled, but being there made me happy. I inquired about petrol, but the old man looked confused. Petrol? He said, scratching his head. What's that? I found it strange. So, I asked, do you go everywhere on foot? The old man smiled and explained, oh, no. We get around with horses. Horses. I thought, they're really slow. Why don't they have cars? I pondered, but I kept it to myself. I was happy to be there, so I stuck around all day. Later, we had dinner together in the evening. Afterward, the girl named Elizabeth and I wandered out to the garden. This is lovely, she remarked with a smile. We enjoy having guests. It's not often we see many people here, she said. We chatted happily, and I noticed how beautiful she was. But after a while, her tone grew quieter, and her face turned somber. Why are you sad? I asked with concern. I asked her, can you share? She replied, sorry, you're just visiting. Tonight, we must say goodbye. It's time for you to leave now. I didn't realize I cared for her. But I did. And I wanted to be there for her. Why did I have to leave? But Elizabeth sadly said again, you must leave. It's not safe here. I told her, hey, I'll zip to the nearby town, grab some fuel, and zoom right back. But Elizabeth stayed quiet. So I told her, Elizabeth, I love you. I'm definitely coming back. And I made it clear, you can't stop me. As I headed out, she stood at the door, saying goodbye with a sad face. I felt sad. Leaving wasn't what I wanted. It was midnight, and the night was pitch dark, but I kept on walking, step after step. I was very tired when I spotted the twinkling lights of a town. Luckily, I found some petrol for my car. Curious, I asked the guy there the name of the village. But he gave me this weird look, like he wasn't sure what I was talking about. Which village? He questioned. So, I began sharing all about this village, its old houses and the folks wearing unique attire. But still, he gave me a puzzled look. He paused, pondering for a moment, then shared, once, there was a village in that spot, but it's gone now. There are tales about it, he added mysteriously. What do folks say? I inquired eagerly. He hesitated to share, but eventually he opened up about it. A huge fire swept through the village. No one survived, and now there are no people or houses left. Hey, how did that happen? I asked. And why? Well, he began, Mr. Johnson was pretty upset with the villagers. Because they sided with the king during the war, so he did something terrible. I couldn't find my voice. This feels so wrong, I thought. That war happened centuries ago. Then it clicked: the odd clothing, the lengthy hair, the different food, the fire, and the ancient houses. I recalled something else about the horses. But I'm confused, I exclaimed. I saw the folks and the village. I even chatted with a few of them. The guy glanced at me and then said, "You know, there's a fascinating tale about that village. Every 10 years, it comes back to life, but just for a single day. This village pops up every 10 years, but only for one day. If you find it, you will have to leave before morning, or you'll be stuck there forever." Can this be true? I thought. Maybe Elizabeth said, "You need to leave." She cared about me, though, she said. "We need to say goodbye." She was worried about my safety. Now I understand, I thought to myself as I returned to the village. But when I arrived, it wasn't there. I looked around again and again, but it was nowhere to be found. All I could see were flowers and trees. I could only hear the birds chirping and the wind blowing. It made me feel really sad. I sat down on the ground, and tears streamed down my face. That day will stay with me forever. I'll always remember Elizabeth and cherish our love. Now, I only need to wait for 2 months. The village will return again on the right day. When that day comes, I'll go back. This time, I won't leave until the morning. I'll be with her always.